TPCSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about Wagerwire. Wagerwire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at Wagerwire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search Wagerwire and download the app. Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it's that time of the week. Good morning, America. East Coast Sports and Bill Krackomberger, Corp Lakes and Crack, live from Las Vegas, 7:39 a.m. God bless you, Billy. Thank you so much for all you do here. Big show at around 11:05, 11:10. Calvin Smith will be with us. One leg away, Billy. One leg. Ohio State to win it all, and he's got about 500,000 reasons to root for the Buckeyes. We'll talk a little bit about that. But first and foremost, a shout out to our proud sponsors, Wagerwire. Head on over to Google Play. Download that app. It is free. Viva Tequila Seltzer. CT Bets Austin, the best in the business. Go try a Viva Tequila Seltzer wherever you purchase and enjoy your adult beverages. And last but not least, Atlanta Steaks and Seafood. You know the drill. Jump on over to Facebook. Follow Terry Smith while you're there. Jump on over to atlantasteaksandseafood.com. Steaks, chops, appetizers, you name it. Start the year off right. 4 subscriptions. Click the box. Do whatever you got to do. Once a month, you will be eating healthy for the whole month. Terry's done an amazing job. Use the promo code STEAKS10. STEAKS10 and get 10% off the full order. Without further ado, the star of this show, Mr. Bill Krackomberger. Morning, Billy.
Morning. I'm a little bit under the weather this morning, but we're going to manage.
Well, I guess we will. This will be the finale on
Cool.
the Survivor. Not for you, I hope.
Oh,
not for you.
I thought we were done. No,
Oh my good, no way. The show must go on here. The Survivor. To get to that spot, 20 weeks, well, because of Thanksgiving and of Christmas, and your selections have shrunk. The sweats that went on yesterday, and if I am adding it up correctly, 8 winners, 5 on the Bucks, 2 on the Colts, 1 on the Cards. And if I really read this correctly, the Meatball Crew had 2 swings, correct, Billy?
Oh wow! I actually was knocked out week 19. My percentage. I had the Colts on the road at the Giants, and I didn't follow the last week. I admit it, so I didn't even know. So this is news to me. I didn't know there was 8 winners. I knew at one point all the favorites were losing. I know that. At one point, these teams that were supposedly must-win teams were all losing at one point. That's the reason why it's really tough to bet anything closer to game day on a side. Even myself, I found myself getting involved in a couple sides when they were priced really well, and even myself, I had Washington minus 4.5. I mean, it went up to 7.5, or even, and I even lost by half a point. So I get it. It's sometimes we get caught up. Even getting the best of the lines though doesn't always work. I mean, I did get the best with Seattle, and because I did get the best of, I took 1.5 with Seattle, and I laid 3 with Seattle. And imagine me saying that, and I took 1.5, and then I would bet it again, 4.5 points worst, and then it went up to 7.5. So if you took the bad line, Seattle won by 5. So if you came back in the middle of the game, you actually caught it right in the middle. And but yeah, so situationally, week 18 this year, every single team that wanted to play spoiler was in the games till the very end. Some actually beat them outright. So, as far as those guys in the contest, that's great. I didn't even hear of any kind of a split or any kind of nothing. Wow. Wow. So, 8 guys, then won about like 1.7 million, it sounds like, ballpark. I'm just thinking about the money. At one point, a little bit more maybe. Um, yeah, congratulations to them. It was a tough. Well, we would have lost, by the way. My team had Atlanta Falcons left for the last week, so we would have lost, right? The Falcons lost. The Falcons lost outright, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, yeah, and that knocked some people out of the pool. This is how much I know about the pool. I guess how much I was jaded. I don't even know how many people had Atlanta in the contest.
Eight
8?
people.
Wow. So 8 people had Atlanta. Those mutts. They deserve not to be in the playoff.
Hey,
Yeah.
Billy, you're in Vegas. I have the backdrop of the Circa. If anyone has not been to the Circa and are traveling to Vegas, Fremont Street, Derek Stevens, Jeffrey Benson, and just do amazing work. Make sure you get over there. This contest is getting bigger than life. I know back in the day of that New Jersey contest that there was thousands and thousands of people, the underground one before the circus started, this monstrosity. Then they finally got pinched a handful of years ago. Here comes the Circa with over 14,000 entries last year. And I've been a part of the Circa. I've been a part of the Westgate contest. When you get to Vegas to sign up, because you got to be there physically to sign up, then you get a proxy. It's like the gerbil spinning. How am I going to spend this? It's just like the chase, and then you get back home and it week after week. It really, really wears on you, Billy.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't even know you knew about those contests, and I'm sure you had them up there in Massachusetts, where you are, up in that area. But let me just tell you something. This won't be a secret to many guys back east that are in the area. They'll never stop those things in Staten Island. Staten Island has some of the biggest Super Bowl box pools and March Madness pools in the world. I'm talking 7 figures. That's right, 7 figures in those bar. Right, you want to call them underground? They're not so underground when you walk in the bar and there's the big box board everywhere around. Listen, they'll never stop that. As a matter of fact, when you win one of those type of pools, and when you get the money, they actually bring it to you less 10%. 10%. Thanks for the tip. They're not taking a 10% rake. It's zero rake, but that they're taking their tip out ahead of time. And by the way, you may want to tip a little bit more after that too. But Staten Island, rough area. It's their own. It's like their own country. They have their own borough there. It's their own country over there. And by the way, I actually like Staten Island. Some great food. I've been there many times. I have some really good friends there. I go to a charity event there every year, and it's a great time. But yeah, as far as here, I said it on VSiN a couple times. People were out of this contest in the first couple of weeks. So think about it, Jeff. They fly all the way to Vegas. They want to meet their proxy in July, August, and they're all pumped up. They're excited. They're going to be in a season-long pool. Bang! Cincinnati first week out. The biggest favorite on the board. Bang! Second week, biggest favorite on the board. Bang! Third week, biggest favorite on the board. I mean, 90% of the pool was out in the first 5 weeks. So here's what happens in this situation. I just think at the time you get so scarred mentally, you're like, I just paid thousands of dollars for entries. I paid thousands of dollars for my airfare, hotel, and meals, and it lasted for a week or two. And they get so mad, they're like, screw this. I would think. However, I forgot that gambler's mentality. Everyone just wants the fire. That when it comes back to football season again, they're going to forget about getting knocked out in a couple weeks here. They want action. They want action with a capital A. They'll be back in it next year. It'll be stronger than ever. People are hearing about this everywhere in the world, and they want in. They want in. So yeah, this pool will get bigger and grow substantially, I'm sure.
Final question on the Survivor. And let's just say they had 14,300. If I said to you next year, I'll give you an under over of 16,850, you would take the under or the over?
Well, that's a good number. Well, that's really a good number. I tell you, it's that's the number I may put. I don't know where you come up with that number. That's probably the number. I don't know. That would be a no bet for me. That's a hell of a number, Jeff. That's probably going to be the number, and I hope it's more. I hope it's more for the town and for the, the buzz and stuff. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, yeah. I like that number. That's a good number you put up.
Hey, well, we think alike, we're numbers guys, right?
Sure, sure. That was good. Yeah, I definitely it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow for sure. Listen, the economy is unbelievable as far as the gambling economy. That's what I'm talking about. The stock market's 45,000. That's gambling, by the way. Bitcoin's 100,000. All these type of people that are gamblers, even though they may not consider themselves gamblers, they all have money. They're bringing it to Vegas every week. It may not be a reflection of the actual economy. Credit card debt at an all-time high. Prices out of control still in the stores and for everything in life. But as far as people will find a way to gamble, it doesn't matter. They always find a way to gamble. Matter of fact, when hard times come about the earth and the world, people look to gambling. It's a sick thing. People look to gambling for maybe even to get out and help themselves, and even though it's going to put them in a bigger debt. It really is an amazing thing. But and there was a great scene on The Sopranos that Silvio, who was the underboss to Tony Soprano, he asked Tony asked a question to him like, "What survives in these kind of times?" And yeah, this thing of ours, he said, it does. It survives, and it even blossoms even more. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Listen, I know one thing: all these guys that are in the stock market and all these guys that are in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, they've yet to see this bear market. They've yet to experience this downturn. Everyone thinks they're geniuses that are in the stock market now. Oh, look what I did. Look what I. And I'm not saying they're not smart to actually invest their money and have the skill set to say, hey, let me not blow this money on stupid things and put it into a market where I have a chance to make more. I'm not saying that, but no one's experienced a bear market yet for the last decade. So they haven't really felt that hit yet. These kids and these people that, the under 35 crowd that's invested in these type of gambles.
Shout out to CJ Nichols. Shout out to Richard Poplis. Says great show, Jeff and Bill, as always. He says this Staten Island has the best Final Four pool. The mob runs for many years. $100 to enter. Your prizes in a paper bag, less 10%. Big pool every year. Billy K, you're correct as always.
That's whoever said that is spot on. They actually know the pool, and yeah, that's the way it is over there. Nothing's going to stop that. I mean, they have some big ones over there. Nothing like back home.
Billy, it's the new year. It's January 6th. It's 2025. Everyone sets these kind of goals, the new you. We all know that. And in our lanes, it's always hard. You pray to the gods, if I win this one, I'll never play again. Yeah. NFL has now the tournament set. The brackets are up, the playoffs, the 2 weeks for the Super Bowl, all the hype, the madness. For me, conference basketball, meaning NCAAs, next thing you know, conference championship, March Madness, and then that takes us right into Major League Baseball, and of course the Masters. And then before you know it, the first Saturday of May, we're talking Kentucky Derby. Billy, give everyone watching and listening, we could stand in room only right now here on Twitter, the Billy Krackomberger reset. And I know there's not a reset because for you and me and a lot of people, It's just Groundhog Day. What are you doing today? Same thing I did yesterday. What are you doing tomorrow? The same thing I'm doing today. What is the mindset once you return the calendar to a new year?
One of my buddies texted me and asked me the day before Christmas. A very sharp sports bettor in town here. He says, "Hey, do you take off tomorrow?" I said, "No, absolutely not. 365. Just text me anything you think that you might look to, or you see an edge somewhere in the market. Just let me know, and I'm in with you." Um, yeah, there is a reset though, believe it or not, and it's coming close. After football's over, and now we get into basketball. Once March Madness comes, usually I get out of town. I head to Florida. I like to go for a couple weeks actually. Last year I went for only a week. The previous 20 years I went for a month. So I just enjoy that and getting out of maybe some of the cold weather here. I'm not even here for March Madness. People fly to Vegas for March Madness. I fly out of town, especially like after the first week. That week's a good week to be here. You can catch some edges here because of having so many of the slow moving outs. But as far as myself though, I mean I am working. Even when I'm in Florida, I'm working all year round. Now I have some incentives to go to Florida too. I have some tickets from Hard Rock that I bet some futures on to go cash when I'm there in Tampa. And I noticed they really had a unbelievable head start on the rest of the country. Imagine this. I'm saying this in the sports betting field. Literally in May of last year, I was there to visit my brother, and I couldn't believe my eyes. They had season wins up on NFL. This is a full month before anywhere else. You want to know something? I was there in April. I'm even wrong. So it was even before. I was in April. I'm in Hard Rock in Florida, and I'm seeing the season wins up, and I'm like, wow, this is unbelievable. Um, so I didn't have enough money, though. I didn't go there with the intent of betting so much money. And I asked what they'll take on season wins, and they were like, "Well, whatever you want." Well, I said, "Okay, let me try to bet 5,000 on one." It went right through. I said, "Oh boy, this is going to be fun."
Oh, it's so fun. Billy knocked himself off here. Hopefully, Billy will come back. 5,000. It's not easy to push through a $5,000 play. You got to get approved by the big boss, and here he comes right now. Um,
Yeah, I don't know, Jeff. Your sensors cut me off or something. Um,
that was I think what happened was as soon as you said 5,000, and we all got excited because, as you know, it's not easy to push through a $5,000 play.
yeah, no, I bet it a second time. It didn't even move. That was a losing bet, by the way. I bet it's amazing. Now they only had 11 wins. I bet Green Bay under 10.5 wins, and they wound up having. After Chicago beat them yesterday. They only beat me by half a game, but I know I had under Giants. I had under, which is a winner, and yeah, no, it was so good there that I had to fly back to Vegas. I told my brother I'll be back tomorrow. He said, "You're out of your mind." I said, "Yeah, I'm flying back to Vegas and flying back here." So that's how good it was there. Um, they had they had the futures up and season wins before everybody. I'll see if they'll do that again this year. That was real. It was really good. But anyway, I do go to Florida. I do have a little bit of a reset, and I slow down a little bit during baseball. But yet I do bet baseball. But baseball season I slow down. Jeff, it really pisses me off. All these new sports books to the country, they charge so much different when it comes to money lines. They charge so much different of a juice. When I'm used to, I'm used to 30, 40 years ago. And when I'm a kid, it's 10-cent lines. I mean, so minus $1.70 comes back plus $1.60. I'm used to the sports books that had them lines. There was a great bookmaker that died here, Skip. He owned a place called Grande, and Grande was I think they were originally, I think they were in Dominican Republic, but um, he had the greatest 10-cent lines. They went up to 180, minus 180, come back 170. And and those guys die off, and these new companies with their guys that don't bet, that work for the company, guys that don't gamble, guys with college degrees, and these Wall Street types. Oh, we can go minus $1.33 and come back even. And that's exactly what they do. It's all these sports books that are new to the country. No one has 10-cent lines. Thank God we have some places here in Las Vegas still. We have South Point, and I believe Westgate has, but some of them have a split line that gradually moves up. I know Stations, they had great 10-cent lines, and then they have someone new that took over their app, and now their lines are much wider too. But they were the three in town. There's not the really good 10-cent lines anymore in baseball. So that means a lot to me. I need a shop that has a 10-cent line, because that makes baseball more beatable. So, and I've had 2 really good seasons in a row. Listen, I'm going to play break-even baseball anyway. I have so many outs that I should be able to break even. Now, what I mean by that is, on each game, I should be able to either lay $1.30 or take $1.30 or close to $1.30, because I have so many different outs and so many different types of markets I can bet into. And then there's these places on the border now you can go. I could drive to the Hoover Dam there, the Boulder Dam, and Arizona has a couple of those places where there's you just pay like 2 cents juice, and my mind slips me the names of them, but we do have these places here in town. And between that and the ones, I'm only 30 minutes from that, from the dam. So anyway, so baseball comes around. I still bet some baseball, but nothing will equal preseason football, college football, early college basketball. The proposition bets for even now, coming up now, the props that we have for playoffs and stuff. Nothing's really going to equal that. Come March Madness, maybe a couple plays as March Madness gets deeper and deeper. I bet less and less. They become like NFL sides to beat. They're very hard because they're the power teams are so good that the bookmaker can get a grasp on that line when they only have eight games to pick from, 8 games to put a lineup on compared to 100 on a Saturday.
Billy, we got one more question, and then we'll go to the last question of the week for you here. I know a few years ago you were down at Foxwoods. We had you on for the Super Bowl. You'll come back east, head over to Foxwoods, maybe head over to Atlantic City for that, because you get that week off there. Super Bowl props, and it's we talk about the Westgate getting there on that Thursday, I think, and they allow you to play 1 or 2, and then you're going to go back in line and
3.
wait another 3.
Yeah, 3.
Okay, and then go back in line. Has it gotten too big? Has it gotten too sharp? I mean, I know everyone has their big parties. What color is the Gatorade? How long is the national anthem? The coin flip, the usual ones. How do you yourself just get so deep into these ones that no one else has ever seen?
Those things were really good. Those couple you just mentioned were really good for, I'll say, a decade straight, from the early 2000s up until 2000, maybe 14, 15. They were all informational based. I mean, just think about this. The length of the song, the national anthem. So if you would just do your research and find out like who's singing the national anthem, just go on YouTube and just see how long it was that they sung the previous ones. Maybe put a couple extra seconds in because of the big moment of the Super Bowl. They may have some longer cues, or they may have some longer words they draw out a little bit. But I can remember we had some ones that were 5, 6, 8 seconds off that were big winners because we just did the research of, like, Christine Aguilera. She was sang at a hockey game like a couple days before the Super Bowl one year, and sure enough, though, the sports books got to take a shot at me there because she missed the word the THE. So during the song, they said she didn't sing the word the, and they were able to not pay everybody and say it's a no bet because she didn't say that word. Well, at least I know they didn't pay my side. They might not have paid both sides. You know, these aren't Fortune 500 guys we're dealing with sometimes. So that was the way it was. 15 years ago. How about the color of the Gatorade? How about having someone on the inside that knows knows the color of the Gatorade? I mean, that was a big thing back then. Knowing what's in the jugs. And I'll give you the best one, the opening song. So I had someone that was in the stadium that was watching them work out. The preview. I shouldn't say watching them. They were doing mic checks and songs, and I forget the word, what it's actually called when they go and they do the warm up. I guess they were warming up. So he watched Coldplay, and he said they come out with acapella. They come out with Yellow, the song Yellow, and there was a lot of sports books that had that up first song, and Yellow, it was like 8-1, and then it went down to like 2-1. But if you know, you know. So you just keep on betting. If it's minus something, you just keep on betting. Finally, they took it down, and then it's unbelievable what happened. Unbelievable. Before they took it down, I get a guy that I know that works for ESPN, and I know him for years, and he told me, and he was actually a producer, an assistant producer is what he was. And he said, "Oh, Bill, I didn't hear him do that song. I heard him do a different song. I forget whatever the other song was." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "I'm just telling you what I heard." And now I go back to my original source, and he said, "I don't know what that guy heard, but I was right there." So I said, "You know what? I had such a healthy 5-figure bet on this." So I actually got off a little bit. I still kept a very big side on the Yellow. And sure enough, we were right. Guy comes out, acapella's Yellow. The assistant on ESPN, I mean, what a knucklehead. This is a guy who can't get out of his own way. What am I even doing, even talking to a guy that can't win a bet? If he had the newspaper open, tomorrow's newspaper open, he couldn't decide what team won. And so it cost me some money. But that's all informational based. So this is not guessing or hoping because I like a certain song or a certain color or a certain thing. These are informational based things, which now are like, they'll give you a little token bet on it now because they were stung so hard by these things in the past. But listen, we'll have lots of props on the Super Bowl, lots of props on these playoff games, and I look forward to them. I enjoy them.
The grab bag question of the day. Last question for you. I know you got a busy day ahead of you. And table slots, casinos. I always see your videos. I always see you talking where to go, where not to go. Let's say some people are heading into Vegas to put down some futures for the NFL or college football. Give us some insight, Bill Krackomberger, the do's and don'ts on tables and slots in Vegas.
Well, if you're coming to Vegas and you want to get the best gamble and the bang for your buck, I can name the casinos that you'd want to play, like video poker, which is a lower hold. So just picture a slot machine. A reel is double-digit hold. Let's just say 10%. And by the way, the penny slots are more than that. 10% hold. What that means is if you put a $100 bill through the machine, theoretically you'll get back $90. You put that $90 back in, they're taking another 10%. You're getting back $81. The same thing with the 81. You're putting that through. Well, now you're going to get back, $73, and so on and so forth until they grind your bankroll down. We're video poker. Now, you can find games that are 100% in town here. And you can find promotions where the machines aren't even 100%, but they're 100% with the promotion. I'll talk about South Point, and that's like my home court. I love it over there anyway, so why not give them a plug? South Point Video Poker, they have some really good games, 99.7, 99, even higher than that when they have promotions every month. You throw them in, cash back, you're talking 100%. They have Walmart gift cards for every 8,000 points twice a year for the whole month. That's positive play. But the Stations casinos, they have banks and machines that say right on them, this is up to 100% play, and they'll give you a choice of games, and you can just look them up. And that goes to show you how unbiased I am. You're asking a question. I'm recommending a casino here that doesn't allow sportsbook winners, but I'm telling you that you can go in and play a break-even video poker machine. But if you go to the sports book and if you win long term, be careful because they're looking to lynch you. So, I've been chased out of stations and, hey, give me that ticket back. You got 2 points the best of it. And you can ask Alan Boston, the same thing with him. Alan was chased out of the Red Rock. I was chased out of Palace Station because I had a ticket that I bet that the line moved in my favor. So I can rant about them all the time. However, I actually like station casinos. Great food, Durango Station, Red Rock, great food. Even Palace Station now, they just opened up China Mama. Great soup, oyster bar. It's a great gamble they give you on video poker. But when I see the sign, we love winners all over the place, I always want to go up there and spray paint and say, cross the winners out and say losers. But anyway, but they do have some great features and great things there. So now, as far as tables go, I have friends that come in, they're old school crap guys. They want to play craps. Well, I'll tell you, some of these local casinos, which used to have the best gambles, they have some of the worst gambles now. So double odds on crap tables. That's table. That's terrible. So the minimum you should have is 3, 4, 5 odds. Three times, 4 times, 5 times. If the point's 6 and 8, it's 5 times. 5 and 9, 4 times. 4 and 10, 3 times. There are some places downtown. I think it's where Robert De Niro's car blew up a casino. I just can't think of the name of it. It's downtown though. That particular casino, Main Street Station. Main Street Station has 20 time odds on craps. They'll give you a good gamble. But that's a Boyd property, and they do give you a good gamble over there. Trying to think any 10 time odds places, but if you get 10 time odds, that's also great. There was a couple places in town where you used to get 100 time odds. Sam's Town used to have 100 time odds. Casino Royal used to have 100 time odds. I don't know what they have now, but I can guarantee they don't have the 3, 4, 5 odds that they used to have on the strip, that they have at the strip. So they'll give you a little bit more of a gamble, maybe. It's funny. When I first came to town, me and my friend Glenn recently, Glenn unfortunately passed. I went to high school with Glenn. Glenn and I come into town, and we went to Sam's Town. I had some connections there. I used to like it there too. This is 25 years ago. So me and Glenn, we go to the crap table. Glenn wanted to play craps. I won't play these games unless I get promo chips, rebates, some kind of an advantage I'm looking to get, or I'm not even going. But we went there and we're playing, and they had 100 time odds. And who comes up to the table? Chip Reese and Doyle Brunson, right next to us playing, and it was us 4 on the table. It was just pretty cool. The old time gamblers, they just liked the 100 time odds, and even though they were sharp sports bettors, very sharp. Matter of fact, Doyle Brunson and Chip Reese had some of the greatest baseball totals in the world, and they had a baseball program. I think it was from Doyle's nephew, I'm sorry, it was from Chip's nephew, I believe. And these guys, even though they got the best of it in poker and the sports betting world, yet they would play the 100 time odds. It was such a minute 100 time. If you took the 100 time odds, it was such a small advantage. So now if you're getting any kind of bonus or walk-in money, the game's in your favor. So as far as blackjack and the other games, listen, I'm only playing where it's 3-2. I know it's hard to find that now, but maybe downtown you can find some places. There's signs there's billboards now, 3-2 blackjack, in certain casinos downtown. And also the 000 roulette is out of control. Eventually there will be a 4th I'm sure. But right now you want to play 00, or if you play higher, there's even 0 roulette. But roulette's a bad game anyway, percentage wise. Just a very bad game. It's good for comps and stuff, but there you go. There's some there's some things there for you.
Billy, we can't thank you enough. We always end this segment here. The world wants to know what your schedule looks like this week and where they can find you, and of course, where they can find your app.
Okay, at Bill Crackman on Twitter, of course. Crack Wins in the Crack Wins store, at Crack Wins. And I do VSiN on Thursday mornings with Gil. I do Fox Sports Radio. You can see behind me the banner. Fox Sports Radio nationwide, 7 to 10 a.m. on Sundays. Countdown to kickoff. And we're going year-round with that too now. So it's not stopping football season. There you go.
Billy, love you to death. We can't thank you enough. Get well. Have a great week. And we'll
Thanks,
see
brother.
you next Monday. You take care.
Thank you.
The one and only Bill Krackomberger at Bill Crackman at Crackwins. You can obviously catch him with Gil on Thursday on VSiN and, of course, Fox Sports Radio. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You guys are going to want to stick and stay. We're blessed to have Mr. Calvin Smith, probably one of the biggest Ohio State Buckeye fans in the next couple of weeks. So you want to stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Jared, hey, we're going to need you to tone it down with the Summer Friday thing, okay?
What are you talking about?
Well, for one, it's not summer anymore.
Oh, really?
Coconut. Also, who is this?
I'm the caddy.
Oh, he's my intern.
Sorry, intern. I'm his intern.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
No golfing in the office, okay? Summer Fridays are over. You can keep the Hawaiian shirt, but the rest of this stuff, all right? Are you grilling?
Oh, yeah. Did you want a burger or a hot dog?
No, grilling in the office.
It's a good point. We should take this outside.
No, that don't. You put that right back down.
Yo, it's all in the hips.
Oh, dude, come on, we gotta go. Let's go.
Well, we're blessed and honored to have Calvin Smith here. Calvin has had an amazing story connected with Wagerwire. Travis and Zach was at the Rose Bowl last week. So let's bring him on and tell the story. Without further ado, Mr. Calvin Smith. Morning, Calvin.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's tough. We're only at Monday, and I'm already pretty excited, pretty eager. So, I feel like it's tough to really focus on anything other than the obvious of what we got coming this week. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I think it'll be easiest now. Don't mind me. I'm going to see if I can make this work here for us. I'm going to move us over to here. And if anyone that doesn't know your story, here we go. It's a three-legged parlay, which now you have 2 tickets. And the comedy is, and actually I'm going to try to pull this down. Give me 1 second so everyone can see some of the prices now that you're stuck with here. Scotty Scheffler, Tennessee Volunteers College Baseball, and now Ohio State. You put this parlay together at almost 3,000, 28.47. I think you had just over 14,841. Tell us the preface and the thought process of putting this ticket together.
Yeah, so one of my favorite sports, and I think, is continuing to grow in the betting world, but I've had major success in is college baseball. I'd already had a Tennessee Volunteers to win the College World Series, I think at plus 1,400. I placed 2 months prior to the College World Series. I'm from Knoxville originally, so my best friend played baseball at Tennessee. Kind of have some insight there, followed him relatively closely and thought that was good fitting. So obviously, at that line, they're in the College World Series playing Texas A&M. They dropped game 1, just, came out pretty flat, but I knew they had the pitching advantage the last 2, potentially game 2. And then, of course, if it got to game 3. So the risk to reward there made sense for me. And obviously I, kept up with the realm of college baseball's landscape per se. I will say on the Scotty Scheffler leg, I'm not a big golf guy. I have 2 little ones, so it's tough for me to honestly get out on the golf course and keep up. But I think everybody and their mom knows he's the best golfer in the world right now. And so he was plus 160. I think that was on day 2, going into day 3, and he had a stroke lead, in first. So for me, it was just kind of a risky play. Honestly, I'm not in any way a golf sharp. But everybody's like, well, why 14,841? Like, why that random of a number? I've answered in a couple of previous podcasts, but for me, I had a really successful college baseball betting season. And so I had a number that I was completely content with walking away, dusting my hands, saying this was a great season, great college baseball year. I'm going to take the remainder and throw out this crazy crazy leg. And so, cook this up. I'd been bullish on Ohio State since they brought Chip Kelly in the offseason, got Caleb Downs, got Quinshon Judkins, and just knowing what was at stake for Ryan Day. And so for me, you see the odds at plus 28.47, and you're like, this dude's a lunatic betting that much money on it. But for me, I kind of broke it down risk to reward for each leg. And I felt relatively comfortable, with Scotty, obviously just handling business and finishing, and then knowing what I knew about the Tennessee Volunteers. And then it came down to playing, the opportunity to get into a hedging game with Ohio State and knowing what that roster looked like and bringing on a guy like Chip Kelly and what was at stake for Ryan Day. It felt like there was no way if I got through the first two legs that there was an opportunity to make, a good amount of money on this play. So that's kind of what got us to today. We've had some up and downs through the college football season, but the last 2 weeks they're playing their best ball of the year, and now's when you got to do it. So
the Tennessee plus 118, was that after they lost game one, or was that when the finals started?
Yeah, that was after they lost game one. So and a very interesting line, right? They go down 1-0. They have to win 2 straight against a Texas A&M team that's obviously loaded, and that line sitting at plus 118. So don't quote me on this, but I think they win game 2 in the line. Their money line in game 3 was like minus 240. So, I was essentially, felt really comfortable. You win game 2 and get to game 3 with who they had going on the mound and a lot of the bullpen there that, the line made sense taking it at plus 118, plus 120 range.
Ohio State, we did shows June, July, August, the team to beat on paper. Just looking at them, looking at their schedule, I said all season long, Kelvin, I don't see a Justin Fields. I don't see a Zeke Elliott. I didn't see a Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
But pound for pound, every expert that we brought on here, they said both sides of the ball, 22 of the 24, they're the best in the country.
Yep.
Came out of the season, okay, traveled to Eugene. They lost by 1, but the mindset was we're going to win the rest of our games and we're going to get the rematch, obviously, in the Big Ten championship, and we'll settle the score there. They double-digit favorites against a bad Michigan team this year.
Yeah.
And they lost.
Yeah.
So before we add a little cherry on top here, after that loss, what was going through your mind right then?
Yeah. You kind of were just in disbelief as you continued to watch the game and just saw, every possible way to lose a football game they executed in. I think they had 5 possessions inside of Michigan's 30, whether that be turnovers or they'd march down the field, chip shot field goals, you name it. It was just bad football. And to have that roster, and you've been around sports for long enough, you understand rivalry games, a lot of times you can throw out a lot of things because it's just, that moment and the one side, especially in this situation, is the 800-pound gorilla thinking that they're going to come in and 30 plus them. The other side's like, we have absolutely nothing to lose. Like, let's go try and play our game and win the game. So, I didn't necessarily, I felt Ohio State would handle business given they lost the last couple of years, but, I wasn't necessarily sold it was going to be a 30-plus game, but you just continued watching it and thought they would eventually break away. They didn't. And then, they lose the game and I'm sitting here just kind of in disbelief. It was almost like they had kind of just wrote that off as a win. They were going to get their leg back. And then, let's get to postseason football. And that didn't happen. But I've said this week, and, I've had a lot of friends and family ask me, what's been your take and what's happened? And I think the loss to Michigan was a blessing in disguise and kind of a wake-up call of, the pressure's off our back. Everyone's told us how bad we are for 3 weeks going into the Tennessee game. We have absolutely nothing to lose. And so you've seen a team, in my opinion, that's played a lot more freely and been able to leverage guys playing loose and playing with the skill set that they have. And we've seen the, disparity between a phenomenal Tennessee team that had a great year in the SEC and then what Oregon done. And when you see Ohio State's best versus those two, it's tough to say what we thought of that this roster is to coming to fruition. So kind of, excited to see where this takes us and see them continue keeping it going.
No, and you're spot on. Everyone was watching that Michigan and Ohio State game, and we're like, "Where's the offense, Chip? Where's the offense?"
Yeah.
And of course, after they lost, fire Ryan Day. He's the worst.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. 3 weeks, you got to sit in your, you know what? In comes Tennessee. You're a 7.5, 8 point favorite. Got bet down to maybe 6.5, 7.
Yeah.
Box to wire. Offense was great. Will Howard was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The wide receiving core. This was what we were ready for. Now you travel to the Rose Bowl. Now you get your rematch. 2.5 point favorites. You meet up with Travis of Wagerwire. Tell us about that adventure.
Yeah. Super appreciative of those guys. We had a great time. They actually, brought me out, took care of the Rose Bowl as well. We had phenomenal seats and we did some content creation and things of that sort, but they were just really awesome guys to connect with. I think their platform and what they're doing is an untapped potential market, and it will, be acquired within the realm of sports betting in the years to come. And so, now we have a relationship where they're constantly sending me kind of first look at the slips they're getting. And it seems like their traction is really taking off with some, incredible slips. I mean, you see plus 10 to 100,000 slips, and you're like, how did these dudes cook this up? Like, I would never in a million years would think of this, but it's truly remarkable. And I've connected with a couple guys that's bought some of the slips, and they're in great hedging opportunities where they're going to walk out of this thing net profitable regardless of what happens, and most likely 5 figures net profitable. So I think that's what Wagerswire's whole goal is to help both parties, and I think this is just the beginning of what they're doing and where it's to go.
All right, I got to take you to this week Cotton Bowl. In Texas, you're facing the mighty Longhorns, who didn't look that great. Had a good start, obviously, against Arizona State. Arizona State makes it a great second half, great fourth quarter, brings it to not 1 but 2 overtimes. 6.5 point favorites. The true number is 4.5. Got steamed to 6.5. I've seen some buyback. Currently, I've seen Ohio State minus 105 to win it all. You said the magic word in my lanes. We start in our 10th year of public service. At our anniversary, we began January 1st, 2015, well before PASPA being passed. We've always thinking it sports wagering as investing. Thought process. Now we had a show with Travis. I talked to Travis, and I put myself in your shoes. Revenge game at the Rose Bowl, 2.5 point favorites, obviously came out boxed away. I mean, you were feeling real comfortable.
Yes. Never a sweat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you're 6.5, now 5.5 point favorites. I think I'm going to talk for you for a second. I think you're feeling comfortable because of the 6 point favorites.
Yeah.
Give me the difference between the Rose Bowl and where you sit right now.
Yeah, I think so a little bit of backstory. I played college football at Coastal Carolina. So, obviously I didn't play in these type of games, but you also understand, and it's tough to sometimes not listen to the outside noise. And you think about it from a player perspective and the complete 360 that this team has heard within the last month. You lose the Michigan game, like you said, fire Ryan Day. This team is the laughing stock. They're never going to get it done. And now here we are, and everyone's, I've seen comps of, is this team solely the last 2 games comparable to the 19 LSU team, the 20 Alabama team? I mean, some of the best, college football teams we've seen the last 15, 20 years. And so for me, my biggest, question or concern would be, is this team still carrying that same chip they had going into, the Tennessee game where it was, hey, we're going to shut these people up, and then the Oregon game where we're going to get our lick back. And so, you combine that with traveling to Texas in Dallas, you're, let's call it 150 miles from Austin. I would say there'll be more Texas fans there. And so what that discrepancy looks like, I'm still intrigued to see. But I would feel pretty confident saying there'll be more Texas fans there. So I feel really good from the landscape. I think the veteran leadership that this team carries understands ultimately they've accomplished nothing. You won the Rose Bowl. This isn't back to when it was 4 teams and you won a New Year's Six Bowl. It's pat on the back. You've accomplished nothing. You lose this game. what do you have to carry your hat on? You lost to Michigan. Those seniors never beat Michigan, never won a national championship, and that's the standard at Ohio State. So, I do feel that sense, and then you combine that with I've watched Texas a lot this year. I think obviously they have weapons. They have a great secondary. Colin Simmons on the defensive line's an animal. Isaiah Bond, if he's healthy, is a game changer, at the receiving core. But I continuously have questions of if they're able to put teams away, and if they get hit in the mouth, how do they respond? Because I've seen in multiple instances, the Georgia game earlier in the year, when Arizona State hit them in the mouth a couple times and how they responded, if they're able to do that. So, for me, like you said, I was able to listen to your previous show with Trav and really enjoyed hearing your takes of, you putting yourself in my shoes. And so, for me, I'm extremely confident, but I understand Texas has 5 stars galore as well. Sark's a great offensive coordinator. And those guys are going to be just as hungry as Ohio State is. So, I think I feel a little bit better about the matchup than I did the Oregon matchup, just given Gabriel and his ability to extend plays and create versus what Quinn Ewers can do. But, I think a couple of the things I mentioned are obviously, a little bit different scenarios than what we had in the Rose Bowl. So looking forward to it. Anxious, nervous, excited. I think, you kind of mix them all together, and that's where I'm at.
When we did the show with Travis, the actual number right now for your value on your ticket, I thought, if I remember correctly, is around 210,000. Of course, the 60 cents on the dollar right now at 154. I think I said to Travis, maybe if someone met you in the middle at, let's say, 184, your initial investment, $14,841.
Yeah.
Are you taking offers, or you want to just? I mean, do you have the 15,000 say covered somewhere else, or are you feeling more comfortable that you like the spot here, and we'll wait to see if it's Notre Dame or Penn State?
Yeah, so I've been pretty strategic with so far I've used shopped around different sports books and been able to use some deposit matches per se to get some free bets, and essentially didn't use any on the Tennessee game. I feel very comfortable there and was willing to take the risk. And again, the cash out was at 55, right? So, I was willing to lose 14 compared to how 24 ended for me from a betting perspective, if that happened. And then in the Oregon game, I did use several free bets as hedging, spots. This one as well, I have, took advantage of some deposit matches to get some free bets and placed several of those on Texas money line just to, hedge protect myself, in the situation Texas does win the football game. So right now I'm in a spot where there's no way I'm not walking out net profitable. It's just what number am I content with that looking like? And so for me, it's extremely tough to say, and I guess the right play would be, to try and find someone. I saw DraftKings had the line at -110. So it's at up to -110 now. The cash out's now at 158 and some change. It's tough to say, am I willing to meet at 190 given I think this Ohio State-Texas game defines who wins the national championship. And I think Notre Dame and Penn State are great teams, but I think the landscape of what Ohio State and Texas have would be tough for the other two on the other side of the bracket to match up. So for me, I'm going to keep playing the hedging game, solely using free bets. I'm able to, continue shopping around some books to get those matches and use those to hedge without having to run and burn any capital, of my own money from a hedging perspective. So that's kind of where I'm at currently.
And you'll be at the game on Friday?
I'm working on it. Yeah, haven't bought tickets yet. I was actually shopping and was curious what tickets looked like. I'm seeing like 1,500 to 2K a pop for pretty good seats, with it's pretty lofty. I'm actually already locked in on the Natty. We have that set up with a book, so super grateful for that and hope we get there. But yeah, I would love to get down there. Going to kind of see how things shake out this week with ticket prices and if I can find a direct flight from Knoxville, kind of got to figure that out. I'd love to be there, more than anything, but we'll see if timing aligns, and also having 2 little kids and have been, went out to the Rose Bowl and left them that. So we'll figure all that out, as the days to come.
Well, Calvin, we want to be a part of this journey. I know Travis and Zach obviously are a big part of this with Wagerwire. So keep us on speed dial anytime you're if and I should say when you make it to the Natty. I'd love to bring you back on here.
Yeah.
Love to do a couple live remotes. It was funny. We were all set for the Rose Bowl, studio all set.
Yeah.
No service, and they were
Signal's
like,
terrible. Yeah, it was absolutely. I was shocked. I mean, I got out of there and finally got reception. I probably had 75, 80 texts. And I was like, so I literally got none of them to come through, was trying to stream the, Texas, Arizona State game. Couldn't do that. So didn't even know the score of who won till halftime. Someone was able to pull it up. So yeah, that is one thing I would recommend the Rose Bowl look into doing, is getting some Wi-Fi down there.
I have season tickets, men's basketball, UConn, 2 daughters, 1 graduate, 1 a student at UConn. Between that and Providence, the 2 worst ever for internet services.
Yeah.
And I do work for BC football and their home games.
Okay.
And once the crowd starts forming, there's no internet. So
Yeah.
I'm just lost. It's the worst thing in the world, Calvin.
100%. You would think, hopefully, they'll take advantage of some of Elon's Starlinks and throw some of those in there or something. I mean, yeah, they got to get that, and it makes it tough as a bettor, right? I mean, it's impossible to get a live line. So, yeah, hopefully they get that, figured out and squared away moving forward.
Calvin, we can't thank you enough. We will all be Buckeye fans on Friday. Enjoy yourself. Go Buckeyes, go. And hopefully we'll catch up with you next week and we'll get the feel of how you felt during the game and, of course, getting ready for the Natty. How's that?
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Jeff. Again, go Bucks, and look forward to Friday and seeing what's to come.
Thank you so much, Calvin. You take care.
Thanks. You too.
Calvin Smith, go follow him at Calvin Smith 05. What a journey. Go Buckeyes, go. Blessed and honored to have him on here. Hopefully next week we'll be live with him as he gets ready for the Natty. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up. Stay tuned. TPCSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about Wagerwire. Wagerwire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at Wagerwire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search Wagerwire and download the app. There we go. Apologies in advance. What a show. What a way to start the week. Bill Krackomberger at Bill Crackman. Go follow him. Everyone knows the deal here. Best in the business. Starts his week with us live at 7:30 in the morning back in Vegas. We're blessed and honored to have him. And, of course, Calvin Smith at Calvin Smith 05. Almost 500,000 reasons. He has a second ticket too, a lot smaller one, but I think the two add up to about 500,000. Go follow him. Go follow the journey. I can't thank Wagerwire enough. Travis, Zach, for connecting him with us. We're going to do a lot more of those through 2025. We're going to bring in some big tickets and have some fun here. He's been doing the right thing. Get the free bonus app, the free bonus promotions from all these sports books, and Moneyline and the other side, at least to cover your investment and obviously so you're profiting as well. 5 o'clock, Riley Magnuson, the closing bell. We'll be back here to get you a re-entry Monday. Gerard Mayo gone. Peterson from Jacksonville gone. I haven't seen what's gone on in the last hour. Shout out to everyone watching and listening. Can't do it without you guys. It's going to be a busy week here. Enjoy yourself. We're just in the first week of January. The NFL tournament is set. We'll break through some potential, I don't know, maybe we get some MVP, Super Bowl MVPs, where we can get a 4 or 6 to 1 versus an even money when you get to the Super Bowl in February. Guys, see you at 5 o'clock. Thank you again, and stay tuned.